If we could all take our seats, please, and get started. Good morning, everyone. And what a great morning it is. This is a little more like Phoenix weather. We've had lots of rain these past couple months while we've been getting this project underway, and all of us desert dwellers are back there sweating it out. But we know you all are used to that. So as we will always do, we are relying on you for the success of what we are up to here. So my name is Jay Heiler. I am the chief executive and co-founder of Great Hearts, and so it falls to me to talk for just a couple minutes quickly today about who we are and why we exist and how we came to this point on this place on this beautiful morning in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And so Great Hearts was born about 20 years ago with a vision for scaling what we thought was the best education that could be designed, that could be brought into being and offered to families around Phoenix. Our original vision was to have 10 prep schools in the Phoenix metro area. That was 35 schools ago, and we are now 26,000 students in Phoenix, in Texas, and now soon to be in beautiful Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Dan Scoggin, who is the co-founder of this organization, is here. And Dan is in many ways the sort of academic and cultural heartbeat of this very distinctive educational model. And he will be every bit as involved in bringing that same heartbeat to this school community as all those that came before it. And so Dan, thank you, Dan, if you could pick that up. Geraldine, would you set that back up, please? Thank you. We're here to repair things in many ways, so that's all too fitting. So Dan and I have been asked many times, as you might imagine, over those 20 years, where did this name come from? Where did the name Great Hearts derive from? And there's really a very simple answer to that question. As we set the original vision for what we were trying to do, we knew that our academics were always going to be strong, they were always going to be rich, they were always going to be set higher than what has become the norm in American education. And so we didn't really want to emphasize that in our name because we knew that it would be so evident in our whole academic program. And so we thought, well, what do we want to emphasize in our name? And what we chose to emphasize in our name was the philosophy that sits at the heart of everything this organization does. And that is a philosophy of education which holds that the greatest and the highest education of the human person is not only about your level of knowledge. It is not only about expanding your knowledge. It is about clarifying your sentiments. It is about clarifying not only what it is that you know, but what it is that you love, what it is that you care about, because that is what drives the human event. Human beings continuously expand our knowledge, year over year, decade over decade, century over century. Human beings have expanded what they know, but they can only advance so far as they continue to expand their capacity to love one another, to live in partnership with one another, to seek the truth together, and to go forward in community and bring things into being that make life more worth living. That is what sits at the core of our educational model. That is our educational philosophy. And so we are a deeply philosophical organization. We will always remain that way. These are things that cannot be changed about us. They are, if you will, our genetic code, our DNA as an organization. And so in the educational event of day-to-day teachers and students and administrators showing up and participating in that process, we call that education for the lifelong pursuit of truth, goodness, and beauty. And that is our purpose. That is why we exist. It is the only reason we will ever exist, is to bring that model of education to as many families in as many places as our organizational capacities will allow us to bring it. So, how did we come here? This is a community which is blessed with a number of leaders who care deeply about it. And that's the one thing that I wanted to say the most to you, the people of Baton Rouge who are here with us today, is you are a very, very unusual community in that way. Now, there are leaders in all communities, but they vary quite a bit in terms of how many there are who are really on the same page about bringing together great things and making great things happen, how much they can transcend differences in pursuit of common objectives for the good of the next generation. Baton Rouge is really blessed with a lot of leadership in that regard. And so when we were asked, as we have been asked to go to a number of communities in America, when we were asked to come here, that's really what drove the decision. What drove the decision was coming to the community and seeing that. And seeing that in the persons of many people sitting here and many people who aren't here, including Mike Wampold, and his right-hand man, Ty, is here, who have donated this land for the creation of this school. And so, including Chris Meyer, who's back here, who had been running at that time New Schools for Baton Rouge, including Brian Heyman, who had been the chairman of that organization at that point, who's not here, including Sarah, who's here and continuing to work, and David, our architect, who has, by the way, rendered here for us what will be by far the best looking Great Hearts building yet to come into existence anywhere in our 35 schools. And so, and many other people, one of whom I'm about to introduce in a moment, many other people in this town who, as soon as we got here, we got the chance to go around and meet. Nikki Godfrey, who's back in the back of the event back there, another one, and her brother. And so it was just such a compelling picture in terms of the human elements that exist in Baton Rouge that it was an easy decision to say, yeah, we're gonna leave the Phoenix desert where there's 6 inches of rain a year and come to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where there's over 60 inches of rain in many years. We're going to enter a completely different part of the world with a completely different history, a completely different social fabric, a completely different array of institutions and aspirations. And we're going to stand up our school model there. But the reason we aspired to do that is because of all the fine people who lead this community. And I should also mention the board, which actually, by its grace, granted us a charter. So Mr. Gaudet, thank you for the board placing its trust in us to do that. And this was the first time that Great Hearts had done that as well. This was the first time that Great Hearts had approached a school district and asked to partner and bring a school into existence there. All of our existing schools in Arizona and Texas had been independently authorized by state authorities. And so that also was a new venture for us. And so we are, even though we've been in business now for 20 years, we are standing here before you with all the enthusiasm and the wide-eyed energy of someone who's brand new at it. Because here we are brand new at it. And we will carry that spirit forward as we go on, bringing this building into existence with the help of our general contractors who are here. Our fate is in your hands, and We know you know that, and we know you know that we know that. And so, but we, once again, we're confident that in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, people show up, people perform, people care, and people pull together to advance their community. So we have also here to speak with us today someone who is, I guess, here as a representative of our board of directors in Arizona, and we have several members of our board of directors here. But she has many laurels that precede that modest one of serving on the Great Hearts Board. So I'm talking about Adonica Duggan, and I've got a long bio here for Adonica that I'm not going to read because I don't think she would want me to. But Adonica is very much a daughter of this community. She's a graduate of the communications school at LSU, where we anticipate hiring many graduates to teach in the hallways and classrooms that will be built behind us here. And she is, maybe most important of all, a mother of 4 beautiful children. And so, unfortunately, we're getting here a little too late to try to lure her and her children into the Great Hearts School. But Adonica is a great case in point of one of those human elements that we bumped into when we came here and started looking around. And so it was, as I said, just this incredible sequence of meeting one fine human being after another here that sort of made the decision very easy to long to come to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and create a Great Hearts community, and hopefully other Great Hearts communities elsewhere as we go forward in time. So Adonica, we thank you for throwing in with our merry band at Great Hearts, and we thank you for all the wonderful things you contribute to this community generally, and especially to the cause of kids. Adonica Duggan.
Thanks to Jay for that kind introduction, the very high microphone, and the beautiful weather that he ordered for us today that is much more like Phoenix. I am honored to speak to you today on behalf of the Great Hearts Louisiana Board, and frankly, so excited to be here for so many reasons. This day is another step in a long journey to improving educational outcomes for children in our community. So many people and organizations, as Jay shared, that have come before us today have led us to this moment that we should celebrate and be excited about what's to come for generations of Baton Rouge students who will walk the halls of Great Hearts Harveston. Almost the last 20 years of my career have been focused on improving educational outcomes for Baton Rouge students, and so this day is especially emotional and meaningful for me. Schools like Great Hearts Harveston represent opportunity. They represent opportunity for families, they represent opportunity for students, and they represent opportunity for the Baton Rouge that we can become. This school is especially important in how we think about the landscape of schools in Baton Rouge. With Great Hearts Harveston opening, I can confidently say that pound for pound, Baton Rouge has one of the best set of operators of any school, of any city in the country, and we should be excited and celebrate this moment for that. Our community is expanding the diverse offerings of great schools and the tapestry of schools that serve the diverse needs of learners in this community. And I'm so excited about that day. When I had the opportunity to walk through a Great Hearts school, and during my time at New Schools for Baton Rouge, I knew that this model thing Baton Rouge students serve. So excited that I'm here at the moment. This is first rate, it's free, it's public, and it's open to everyone. And equitable access to high quality schools will help us deliver on the Baton Rouge that we can become and make this a more amazing place to live and raise a family. I have been incredibly impressed by the humility of the Great Hearts team as they have been thoughtful and service-oriented in their approach to getting things right for Baton Rouge students. That's one of the reasons why I was so excited to join this board. They have focused on doing things in partnership with families that they seek to serve and learning from the wisdom of this community. Expanding this access to excellence for all of the students who will be served by Great Hearts Harveston is something that we should all be so proud of on this special day as we break ground on the first Great Heart School in Louisiana, in Baton Rouge. I am proud to serve on the board of Great Hearts Harveston because of what I believe that it will bring to this community, and I believe that this community is the most special place on earth. And now I'm proud to introduce a man who without hesitation moved his family of 7 from San Antonio, where he was serving as headmaster of one of the many Great Hearts Academies in Texas. He's committed to Great Hearts culture and was both humbled and eager to bring that culture to our Baton Rouge community. With his first job right after graduating Hillsdale College in Michigan, he began his career with Great Hearts as a teacher and coach at Veritas Prep in Arizona, moving to Texas and expanding his teaching portfolio through leading young minds in poetry, literature, composition, and humane letters. I am so excited to introduce to you the headmaster of the first Great Hearts School in Louisiana here in Baton Rouge, Sam Heisen.
All right. Got a little bit of a height difference there. Yeah. All right. Welcome, Harveston community. It seems a little odd for me, a kid from Ohio, to welcome you, the wonderful people of Baton Rouge, to South Baton Rouge. You've been here years. I've been here for about 4 months, right, Rach? It's May 31st. Further, it seems a little strange for me to welcome you to a homecoming, right? We're not revisiting this place as alumni. We're celebrating an impending arrival, but still a welcome and a homecoming seem appropriate. But I'll get back to those points in just a minute. I think it's only appropriate to break ground in a spirit of gratitude. So there's a laundry list of a dignified list rather than a laundry list of people that I'd like to thank. Let's start with the Great Hearts Harveston board. If you're here, if you could just stand up briefly. Thank you for your guidance and watchfulness in making sure we launch right. Great new schools for Baton Rouge members, old and new. There are a lot of you. Thank you for wrapping around our organization and helping us incubate and grow in the distinct ways we need to in order to serve this unique community. You guys have been very watchful. Kara Maggiore in particular, texting me, making sure I understand precisely how I should phrase things or who I should talk to. Making sure we incubate and grow in the way we need to serve this wonderful place. All of our colleagues at Great Hearts America, 20 people flying from Phoenix, Texas to be here today as we break ground in Louisiana. Thank you for being here and making sure that we stay faithful to our mission and that we execute on our promise. To my current team, they're running around doing everything, but I want to make sure we take a minute and recognize them. Alicia, could you wave? Kim, Thomasina, and Lakeisha. Thank you for introducing me to Baton Rouge. I think you all, more than anybody, have helped me fall in love with this city and introducing me to communities like Scotlandville, Glen Oaks, Monticello, Shenandoah, Gardere, Mid-City, Kenilworth, and amongst so many other little neighborhoods. I myself am a resident of Mid-City, and getting to know the distinct blocks in Mid-City is like mini universes unto themselves. We look forward to serving the youth of Baton Rouge from all of these communities, from each and every community, any and every child. And I'm glad to have people on the team who deeply know these communities and love them and embrace the wonderful diversity this city has to offer. Thank you, EBR school board members and Superintendent Narcisse for their approval and believing through this work that we can join you in transforming the youth of Baton Rouge. Lastly, and most importantly in this list of thanks, thank you, my dear wife, Rachel. Moving 5 kids across 2 states is not an easy task. Homeschooling them for this year is not an easy task either. But you're the most consistent and joyful person I've ever met. And your love, encouragement, and steadfast support is the greatest gift I'll ever receive. Thank you for our life together. All right, so once more, welcome to our homecoming. This has been your home for quite some time, as I mentioned. Only recently has it become mine. So I feel like I should elaborate on the home that we hope to build here. It's not my intention to supplant the family home by any means. I have a big family, and I have enough on my plate just making sure we keep track of that one. But I don't want to supplant the family home, nor does Great Hearts. That's the most powerful influence in anybody's life. Rather, I think when we say home at schools, what we mean is something like community or region, block, etc. That's the home we hope to build. And we hope to build it for a couple reasons. A home like this offers a unique connection. A connection with friends, with fellow scholars, with the past, and with the world to come, with the world they'll encounter. We hope to offer the joy that comes with studying these things that unite us as humans across time as a community. So the first connection, right? At Great Hearts, we study great books and ask great questions about ourselves and the world around us. And when students study works and questions such as these together, the very best of friendships are formed. And they're built not just around common hobbies, but the common virtues to which all humans aspire. The second connection that a home like this offers, right? Students are studying material that has stood the test of time. It provides continuity or connection with the past. They're not just studying the great books either. They're studying the rest of the humanities, history, economics, etc. They're studying science, languages, fine arts, and mathematics every year. And they are studying it in a time-tested manner by way of the Socratic method and inquiry. Such a course of study connects them with the last 2 millennia of wisdom that is theirs by inheritance. It is, to quote my friend Adonica, it is their birthright. And then the third connection that a home like this offers, I'll elaborate on now. When students are connected to each other by friendship and connected to their past by classical study, the student is able to find connection with the future. They're not, and what I mean by that is they don't feel disconnected. They have a sense of groundedness and clarity amidst turbulent times. They're able to find order amidst disorder. Sorry, this is sliding just a little bit. It's distracting me. They're able to find order amidst disorder, and they're able to find clarity in confusing times because they've studied the nature of humanity and the nature of the world around them. They're able to find a just and good path forward when moral choices are difficult. All of this, not just because their mind has been formed, but their character has been formed as well through that connection with their community and their connection with the wisdom of the past. So in summary, we hope this school offers a home of sorts, not a replacement for the family home. And what a home like this offers is an imprint or a formation on the intellect and on the soul that leads students to feel connected and at home wherever they are, because they understand more about reality as it is and how they fit into it. So I think in sum, the great thinker and playwright James Baldwin said it best. Perhaps home is not so much a physical condition or a physical location, but an irrevocable condition. And we hope to provide that irrevocable condition to each and every student in Baton Rouge in August of 23, but for years and decades to come. We're honored to have been welcomed to your home, and we pledge to make sure that we continue to make good on our promise and offer a community, a home, worthy of the welcome you've shown us. So thank you and welcome. All right. On behalf of the East Baton Rouge School Board, Mr. Mike Godet has a few remarks for us.
Thank you. And for moving the mic around, you see we grow short in Louisiana. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here on behalf of Dr. Narcisse and the school board. Today is an exciting day. I first saw Great Hearts in action when my wife, Margie, and I visited one of their schools in San Antonio several years ago. I think it was the Monte Vista North that we visited. And I was very impressed at their emphasis on critical thinking based upon the great works of literature as explored through the Socratic method. Their goal of providing a liberal education focused on thinking deeply, loving noble things, and living well together is one we can all appreciate. When the board approved adding Great Hearts to our portfolio of schools, we knew it would bring a different type of choice to the options available to our families to educate their children. With this addition, our school district now has 15 Title I charter schools in our system. Combined with other innovations like the new Focused Choice schools, our parents will now have the ability to choose the right school for their child, and those options continue to grow. This is not only beneficial to our families, but also to the entire city of Baton Rouge. We are excited to welcome Great Hearts to our district. We will do our best to help them prosper, and we hope to learn from their unique approach. A thriving and strong public school system is a building block for what makes a city great. Thank you for allowing me to be here today. Thank you for coming to Baton Rouge, and I eagerly look forward to your success here in Baton Rouge. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Godet. I'd like to invite Mr. Ty Ghosh, Jay Heiler, Miss Adonica, Mrs. Duggan to come back up. We are going to turn now to, and Mr. Scoggin, we're going to turn now to the symbolic breaking of the ground where we make good on our promise to change the community together. We'll head over there, get the hard hats and gloves on, and we'll go from there. Behind. Yes, school board members, councilmen, EBR school board members and councilmen, if you could stand around us as we break ground. Appreciate that.
Could we please have the NSBR team come up and Chris and Brenna, please, for another shovel turn?
video guy, but I can take a picture. Yeah, I'm happy to take
Oh, there he